Hello, everybody. I got frostbite again. Testicles are showing. Hey, it's New Year's Eve tomorrow, so I know a lot of people are in this mindset of New Year's resolutions, and I got some things to say on that topic. Before you're like, who the fuck do you know? Now, I'm the type of person that spends every single day of their life chasing some sort of personal goal, usually on just mental health, which sounds big and dramatic, but essentially just finding a way each day to focus on a little bit of something just to make my life a little better, a little happier. And I believe the whole purpose on this earth is to enjoy it. When you look up at the stars, you realize we ain't shit in the huge picture. Like, nothing I do really impacts the universe. And I probably never will. I'm not going to be an astrologist. It's not that big of a deal. So why don't we just enjoy it? So that's my belief, is to enjoy it. And that's why I spend a lot of time focusing on mental health, stress management, all that stuff. So that's one. Another thing that makes me qualified is being a certified personal trainer and spending 5 years as a director of training and 7 years as a personal trainer. Learned a lot. And when I tend to learn something, I tend to kind of obsess about it until I'm really good at it. And then what happens after that is up to me. But that's me. So I know some stuff. So first I'll tell you that I have probably interviewed well over 1,000. I have interviewed well over 1,000. I want to say it's around 3,000. 3,000 people coming into a gym as the director, me, and asking them a list of questions like, what are your goals? In summary, it's like, what are your goals? What's been in the way before? Like, what stopped you from getting those goals before? And what is your motivation? They're all key questions, right? You got to know what your goal is, obviously. But what has gotten in your way before from reaching goals? If you write that down and you write the same thing like twice or more, you should probably stop using that method, because it ain't freaking working for you. And also, writing down what hasn't worked narrows down the list of things that might work. If you try 6 different things 6 different times and they don't work, and you have 10 ideas, stop doing those other 6. Try the new 4 that you haven't tried yet. Motivation is a big one, huge one, probably the biggest one. The more motivation you have, the less discipline you need. And the more discipline you have, the less motivation you need. Motivation is doing stuff when you feel like doing it. Discipline is doing it when you don't feel like doing it. So you're always going to have both. And I recommend on this list I'm going to talk about that number 1 is acceptance. Number 1 should be acceptance. And number 2, and number 3, and number 4. Most of the reasons we don't succeed is we get in our own way. It's too hard. I can't do it. They said I can't. I don't believe in myself. There's too much to learn. Blah, blah, blah. And there's a different side to that coin. If it's too much to learn, sometimes you just got to hire someone else or have someone that wants to help, that can, have them do it. You know, you got to realize when you're just not good at something, and you never will be. And is it worth spending 2 years focusing on it to boost your income or your results by 1%? Or you can spend the next week and boost everything 30, 40, 50%. Let's do the short term, as long as it lasts. You know, and I can break that down for fucking hours. But you get the gist. Motivation is key. And as I've interviewed thousands of people, I started observing what works and what doesn't work. Some people come in like, my motivation is, I just got divorced and I want to show my ex-husband what he's missing out on. In my head, I'm like, well, that's not going to really help you out long term. It's kind of a shitty motivation, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to work. It's just a shallow whatever. But I don't understand this person's deep. I don't know their childhood. I don't know anything about them, really, except for what I just learned when I sat down to talk to them. One motivation is, I just got divorced. I want to get revenge, or I want to get back in the dating game and I look like shit. Those tend to actually succeed the quickest and maintain for quite a while. I mean, I don't see these people anymore, but I did notice with my records, like, these people that are motivated from divorce seem to have the highest stick to it rate, like consistency. The one that had the least stick to it was children. I want to lose weight and get healthy for my kids. I want to play with my kids. You know, I'm 5'5" and I'm 280 pounds. I can't play with my kids. I'm too big. Surprisingly, that holistic, really deep, nurturing motivation rarely works. At least from what I saw in the gym. You know, I don't interact with these thousands of people daily, and I don't study their lives, so I don't really know everyone. But just from sitting in the gym and looking around at the clientele, like, oh, Sean's here, Sarah's here, Kyle's here. Okay, all divorced. Where's that people? What's people with kids? Let me get on the computer and see the last time they were all here. Months. So there's something for you. So now let me get to the good shit. One thing I'm not good at is understanding how to make good money, because I want to build my financial future. I've just never really I've never been a money savvy person, but I'd like to learn how to do it. So that's been a goal for a while, and I suck at it. It's not a complaint, that's just a statement. I'm aware of that. And that brings me to point number one. Step number one in this is acceptance. Accepting that you just don't have it. Okay. Or don't accept it and change it. Those are your two options. Accept it and move on. If you can't accept it, then don't accept it and do some shit about it. Very simple. But don't overwhelm yourself with all these petty goals that really don't have value. And that'll all be simpler right here, right now. I want you to pick a goal. After I rambled real quick on New Year's resolutions, my goal for 2022 was to work on physical and mental health. That was it. And I used the year as not a kind of like a deadline, but not an end line. And that's a big important part. It's a deadline, not an end line. Once that deadline's over, there's new project. And once you get on this journey of self-healing or building a house or digging a hole or getting in better shape, whatever your goal is, once you reach it, you're going to want to do more and more and more, because it's awesome. It feels great. So why not continue? That's my goal. Back to acceptance. I don't think I had closure on that, but that's all right. Acceptance. Been listening to this guy online, old guy, Tracy something, old guy. Talks about money. I know, he had this thing. He's like, dude, I guarantee you this will change your life. All right, I'll listen. Write down the big question. How? How do I reach this goal? And then you write down 20 ways to reach that goal. 20, right. This is where it gets challenging. Luckily, he gave a few tips. Like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So since most people this year are going to want to work on, their physique or losing weight, I'll use that as an example. You can apply it to anything. How do I lose 71 pounds in 12 months? And then write down 20 things that will contribute to that goal. And that's where I say the first thing is acceptance. Accept that you're fat, if that is the fact. If you're fat, you're fat. Own it, okay? You did it. Your hormones did it. Food did it. Your parents made you, whatever. That's the fact. The sooner you get over that and accept the fact that I am fat and I'm going to change it, so much stress is off the table. That leaves room for motivation. Okay, so go ahead and accept it. If I'm a narcissistic prick, I'm not going to change it until I admit to myself, like, well, I'm a narcissistic prick. I need to fix it. I'm overweight. I need to fix it. I have PTSD and I drink every day. That's true. I'm not going to deny that. It's not true for me anymore. But admitting to yourself, yes, I drink too much and I want to change it. Yeah, I'm fat. I'm too fat. I want to change it. I'm homeless. I want to buy a house. Whatever your goal is. But write it in the format of, how do I do this? So how do I lose, keep it simple, how do I lose 20 pounds? Step one, accept that you're 20 pounds overweight and you want to change it. Accept it's going to be challenging. Accept you're going to have to make sacrifices. And also, how are you going to cope or deal with those sacrifices? That's kind of like 2 in 1. So there's the first 3 tips. Accept where you are and accept that you're going to fix it. Accept it's going to be hard, and accept you're going to make sacrifices if you want to reach your goals. And how are you going to cope with those sacrifices? There's my tips. And I say, last thing, don't make it a New Year's resolution. Just use the year as kind of like a border, a barrier of the room you have, the time you have to work on this one goal. Drink water. Better sleep. Focus on sleep. Sleep is key. Sleep is key.